guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be teaching you how to make this beautiful two pieces outfit you see on your screen. A high-low circle top and a trouser, and it's easy to make. So if this is something you would like to learn, then stay tuned to the end of this video, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button and bell notification to be notified whenever I drop a new video. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video. These are the materials we'll be needing for this tutorial. So I'll be using this beautiful lycra fabric. I bought 4 yards for the top and the trousers. So we are starting with the top. So we are going to fold it in bias form. So the measurements we'll be needing is the bust measurement, which is 41, and then the length of the front is 25, and then the length for the back is 28. So the first thing to do is to mark your shoulder measurement, which is 7. So I'm adding half an inch for sewing. So this is where the shoulder will be, so which is 7.5, and I'll draw a line. Then on this shoulder line you mark your neck line, which is 3.5 inches. So before I continue, I folded it into 4, both the front and the back together. So the back neckline is 1.5. You can use your curve ruler to mark the lines, and the front is 3.5 by 3. So I mark the front and the back together. The width is 3.5, and then the depth for the back is 1.5. The depth for the front is 3.5. So the next thing to do is to mark our armhole depth. That's the armhole line. So it's 9 inches. 9 inches for the armhole depth. I mark 9 inches here. So on this shoulder point, you come down 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then you connect with your straight ruler like this. So I'm marking the chest line so that I can draw a straight line. This is our chest line, which is 9 inches. So what I mark for the shoulder here, 7.5 inches, I will extend it to the chest line, 7.5, like this. And I'll draw a straight line for the armhole depth. You understand what I'm doing? I came down on the shoulder 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and then I mark also 7.5 for the shoulder on the chest line. Then I connected a straight line. So on this chest line I will take the bust measurement. The bust is 41 inches divided by 4 is 10.25, and I'm adding 1 inch for sewing and then 1 inch for ease. So the next thing to do is to create the armhole. To do that, you divide the line here into 2, which is 4.2, and then you come in half an inch for the front bodies. Then you connect like this. Then forget about this line here. Then you take your curve ruler to create the front armhole. You take from the center point here to the armhole. So this is it. So the next thing to do is to take the length of the top. So for the front piece, I'm marking 25 inches, and I'm going to add half an inch for the sewing, that's for the hemming. So it's 25 and a half. So I'm marking 25 and a half all the way to the hemline. Half and half. So I'm going to connect the points. Hope you can see that. So this is for the front, and then for the back I'll mark 28 inches. So guys, you can see that this is the front and then this is the back. So what I'm going to do now is to add half an inch on the shoulder slope for the sewing allowance. From this armhole, I'm going to connect like this. I'm going to connect with a cuff like this. So the next thing for me to do now is to cut the back first, then I'll remove the back and then cut the front. What I'll do now is to remove the back piece and then trim off the front, and then trim out also the front armhole and the front neckline. So this is it. So this is our front. So you can see that this is how it looks. So the next thing to do is to open the back slits. So I slit the back piece with 4.5 inches, and we are going to put a loop and a button at the back. So this is for the back. This is the back neckline. So what I'm going to do now is to cut facing for the back and the front. So I place the lining on the ribs. This is the back piece. I'm going to cut it out now. And then I'm going to trim this out. So after cutting the facing, this is how it looks like. So next we are going to cut the facing for the front. So I'm going to be placing the front piece on it to cut the facing. So I'm going to cut the facing for the front piece. So this is the facing for the front. This is how it looks. So now that we are done with the top, we are going straight to cut the trousers. So I've gone ahead and fold the fabric in half. Normally when we are sewing our skirts, we use the hip measurements, we divide it by 4. In case of trouser, you fold your fabric with the thigh measurement, that's the lap measurement. You fold it into 2 with the lap measurement. Waist, for trousers, the waist is divided into 4, the hip is divided into 4, the lap is divided into 2, the knee is divided into 2, and the ankle is divided into 2. So I rule a starting line here on top of the fabric with 1 inch, and I also rule a line, a vertical line straight down to the hemline with 1 inch. And I rule out the hip line, the crotch, the knee line, the ankle, and then I added 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. So the length of this trouser is 43 inches, 43, and 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. So we are starting by dividing our thigh into 2. So the thigh is 25.5 divided into 2 is 12.75. So we are going to impute the thigh divided by 2 on the crotch line. And how do you get the crotch line? You divide your hip measurement by 4. Your hip divided by 4 to get the crotch line. And on the crotch line, you go 2.5 up for the hip line, because my hip is 8.5 inches and the crotch is 11 inches. So I have to go up by 2.5 inches. So now we start imputing the measurement. So on the crotch line, I divide the thigh into 2, which is 12.75. So I will impute 12.75 on the crotch line, and I'll add 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So on the hip line, I'm dividing the hip by 4. So the hip is 43, divided by 4 is 10.75. So on the hip line, I place 10.75 on the hip line. On the waistline, I will impute the same measurement I put for the hip divided by 4, which is 10.75. I'll place 10.75 on the waistline, and on the crotch, I'll place the same 10.75 so that I can connect the line straight. Next, whatever you have here is 2.5. You are going to place it here up 2.5. That's where you are going to draw your crotch curve. But before drawing your crotch curve, in this corner, you go up by 1 inch so that it will not be too deep. Then you connect like this to the 1 inch. So next, we'll take the waist measurement. The waist is 37, divided by 4 is 9.25. 9.25, we are going to take it on this line like so, and then I'll add 1 inch for the dart. The waist divided by 4, which is 9.25, I place it on the waistline, and I added 1 inch for the dart. Then I'll connect to the hip line. Can you see that? So on the waistline, I'll come down 1.5 inch for the front bulging of your trousers, and I'll draw the line to meet this point here. Next, we are going to shape the legs of the trousers. To do that, whatever you have on this crotch line, which is 13.2, you fold your tape to find the midpoint of this line, So this is the midpoint of this line. So you are going to take this line all the way to the hemline. So whatever you get here, so you place it here on the knee line. Then you place it also on the ankle. You understand? So I'll draw the line now. And this line automatically becomes your grain line or your center line. Now we are going to divide our knee by 2 and then the ankle by 2. So the knee 21 inches divided by 2, 10.5. So here you mark 10.5. 10.5, you divide it 5.2 here and then 5.2 on this side. So to get the ankle, you minus 1 inch from this knee line. This knee measurement here, you minus 1 inch. So it will be 9.5. So 9.5, you divide it into 2. It will be 4.75. 4.75 here, and 4.75 here. So next, we are going to mark the dart. The dart for the front is 5 inches and then the dart for the back is 6.5 inches. So to create your dart, you are going to extend this line all the way up. So this is it. So the next thing to do is to shape your trousers, to connect the lines. You see that on the hemming allowance, you don't extend the line straight, because if you extend it straight, you'll be short of fabric when folding the trousers. So you slant it a little bit like this. So we are marking the that is 5 inches for the front. Then you take half an inch on each side of the grain line. Half here, half here. Then you connect to this point. So our front piece is ready. So I'm going to cut it out and I'll use the front, place it on the back to cut the back. And on this front, I didn't add any sewing allowance. I'm going to add everything on the back. On the front, we are not going to cut this. We are going to use it to cut the back before cutting the slope. So guys, this is our front piece of the trousers. So I'm going to fold for the back and then place the front on the back so that we cut the back together. So if you've watched up to this time and you've not subscribed yet, please do so by hitting on the subscribe button and turn on your bell notification to be the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Share my videos to your family and friends and also leave comments. Thank you. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and folded the back into 2. I added some allowance. I connected the lines. This is the lap line, this is the knee line, and then the hem line. So what I'm going to do now is to extend the back crotch with 2.5 inches. And then on the knee line, I extend it with 2 inches, and on the hem line 2 inches. Now you come up here on the waistline. I'll go up by 1.5 inches. So I'll connect the 1.5 inch to the end of the waistline here. Then I'm going to extend this waistline for the back. I'm extending it by 4 inches. You can extend it 3.5 inches, 3 inches, depending on the size of the plant. So I'm extending it 4 inches. Now I'm going to take it up like so. And then you connect it to the 1.5 inch. And then you draw a straight line down the crotch line here. Like this. Hope you can see that. And then you draw the back crotch line. Can you see that? Now we are going to connect from the knee to the hemline, and then from the knee to the crotch line. And I'll take my curve ruler to connect like this. So what you do, you just extend the dart leg, which is the grain line, up like this, and then you take 1/2 inch on each side of the grain line. So what I'll do now is to cut the front slant, then our trouser is ready. So guys, what you do now is to notch the lines so that when joining it, it will be easy for you. You come to the dart, you notch the dart part. So guys, this is it. We have come to the end of cutting the top, our circle top, and also the trousers. So if you find this tutorial helpful, please don't forget to leave a huge thumbs up, share my videos, and also leave comments. In my next video, I'll be sewing the top and the trousers. So if you want to know how to sew, how to join the top and the trousers, please don't miss out on my next video. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.